Palestine, a story of occupation. When will the cycle end? Welcome. Have you ever heard of a land stolen, a people displaced, and generations born in exile? You might think this is ancient history, but the truth is it's happening right now for over 75 years, and the story is far from over. But how did it all begin? Why has Palestine become one of the most complex issues in modern history? And why, despite decades passing, does this land remain under occupation? To understand, we must go back in time. The beginning, a promise from those who didn't own to those who didn't deserve. In 1917, Palestine was under Ottoman rule, but World War I changed the balance of power. Britain, which did not own Palestine, issued the Balfour Declaration, a document of just 67 words, yet powerful enough to alter the fate of millions. Simply put, Britain promised to establish a Jewish homeland in Palestine, completely ignoring the fact that an Arab population had lived there for centuries. When British rule ended in 1948, Israel declared its statehood, marking the beginning of one of history's bloodiest chapters: occupation, displacement, and the catastrophe that Palestinians still endure today. The Nakba, when home becomes a memory. Imagine waking up on an ordinary day, but instead of heading to work or school, you find yourself chased out of your home. Forced to leave, carrying only the key to your old house, hoping to return, but you never do. This was the reality for 750,000 Palestinians in 1948. Entire villages were burned, families were torn apart, and hundreds of massacres were committed against civilians. This was not just an armed conflict, it was an ethnic cleansing documented in history, turning over half of Palestine's population into refugees, a status they still hold today. After 75 years, what has changed? The occupation did not end, it evolved. It is no longer just a conventional war, but a systematic structure of settlements expanding over Palestinian land. Palestinians now need identity cards that dictate when and where they can move within their homeland. Walls divide neighborhoods, military checkpoints control daily life, and children are imprisoned for merely throwing a stone. Yet, despite everything, Palestinians continue to resist. Not just with weapons, but by holding on to their identity, their language, and their culture. Why doesn't the world act? Justice has always been a matter of balance, yet in this case the scales have been tilted for decades. International law deems the occupation illegal, and UN resolutions call for its end, yet nothing changes. Global superpowers, unconditional support, and double standards have solidified the occupation as a reality. But is reality permanent? Where are we headed? Are we facing an endless conflict? Or will justice, however delayed, find its way? History teaches us that occupations do not last forever, but the daily price paid by the Palestinian people should not be reduced to mere statistics in the news. Perhaps when we stop treating this as a complicated political issue and remember that it is, above all, a human story, the world might finally see the truth for what it is. Conclusion. History is being written now. This is not just a chapter from the past, but a story being written at this very moment. The real question isn't when it all started, but when will it end? If you believe this story needs to be told, support this content by sharing, subscribing to the channel, and helping us be a voice for those who have none.